Hey everyone, for today I'm going to share with you a little reminder about something you can do with your stencils. For the background for today's card, I'm starting out here with the outdoor scene builder. I'm going to use this cloud piece here, and I've got two pinks. I have a light pink and then a peachy pink, and I'm going to alter these all the way up the card. So I'm going to start out here with the light pink, get a little bit on my brush. I don't want to go in too heavy, and then I'll bring it up along the bottom of an A2 sized piece of cardstock. So it's 4¼ inches by 5½ inches. Once I am happy with the color on that bottom part right there, I'll go ahead and bring in the stencil, wipe off my brush because I want there to be a difference between these two pinks, and then I'll bring in this peachy pink color and I'll bring it right over those clouds. Now that's going to get darker along the edge of those clouds and create a cloud line right there. I'm going to bring in a touch more here because I want it to go up a little farther onto the cardstock. And when you're ready for your next part, when you're using this stencil, you can flip the clouds, you can turn them. I'm just going to rotate it each time, makes it super easy. So now I'll switch back to my light pink color, and you can see I'm using my lids in order to work that ink into the brush. I find that really helpful, and then I also don't lose any of that ink, and it just sits there in the lid until I am ready for it next time I need some ink. Again, making sure I just clean my brush in between each color because I don't want to lose the difference between those two. And I'm going to work all the way up the card. So I'll turn the stencil again and go back to my other color and repeat it all the way up the card. Now that I have finished that, you can see how beautiful the different pinks are as they alternate up the card. I am going to bring in some of the light pink around the edges and maybe a little bit of that pinky peach, just to darken those edges up a little bit. I think it looks really nice. Now I'm going to bring in the air traffic stencil here. There are two stencils. You can layer them on top of each other if you want to. One makes bigger airplanes and one makes smaller airplanes. I'm going to use the smaller airplanes, and I'm just going to get this positioned so I get kind of the maximum number of airplanes there on the card panel, and I'll tape this down with some low tack tape. And now here is what I was talking about at the beginning. I tend to forget that you can use black ink with your stencils, and it creates a really fun background. So I'm going to bring in the intense black ink here, and I'm going to go over the entire stencil, and it's going to make it look almost like I have stamped this, like this is a background stamp. So it's a second way to use your stencils. You can use them almost like stamps if you come in with black ink. So just make sure you get a lot of that black ink down. Now I'm going to go ahead and peel up the stencil. Oh, look how cool that looks with those planes. All right, here is the lovely layers packed suitcase. This is full of all kinds of cute little things. You've got lots of different clothing, bathing suits, a passport, a map, sunglasses. So cute. So let's go ahead and cut these out of some colored cardstock here. I've got a bunch of different pieces cut out, lots of different colors here. Now we can start putting together all of these fun little pieces. I'll start off with the camera. So there's 3 pieces here to the camera. You've got your base and then your main camera piece, as well as that tiny little circle piece. But it's really easy to tell how these layer up. So I'll just add some glue here to our middle piece, and that's going to line up right over the gray piece I've cut out. And so now it looks like we have that cute little gray strap peeking out there. And now for the circle, same thing. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue all the way around the edge here, and that's going to line up right over that circle that is cut out of the lighter pink piece. I'm going to do a little bit of detail work at the very end with this, but look how cute that little camera is. It's absolutely adorable. So we'll move on to our next piece here. I've been using a little magnet to help me pick up my dies lately, and it is so helpful. These are some shorts. They're little layered shorts. So there are two little pieces with a stitch detail that go along and make the kind of like the rolled up cuff area at the bottom of the shorts. And then there's also a little detail waistband piece. So I'm going to add my glue on here, just dotting it along in the different spots. And then I'll come in with my wax pickup tool, which just makes life a lot easier because I can just pick up those teeny tiny little pieces and then just set them right over the top of where I have added my glue. Okay, now that we have all those layers, you can see they're finished, and look at that cute little stitch detail along the edges. Oh, I love it. Okay, next up we have this little top here. It has two different pieces. So there's the main top piece, and then there's a little accent piece that goes across the center. And all of these pieces obviously are optional. You could certainly make them with less pieces, or you could build up the dimension by cutting out two of them and gluing them together. Lots of different options here with this kind of set, but there you can see up close all of the fun little detail on that top. And now I'm going to bring in our suitcase here. We'll put a couple of pieces of the suitcase together first, but we're not going to build the entire suitcase because we need to pack our first layer of clothes before we do all the suitcase pieces. So you saw there was that one little piece there that die cut all four of the wheels. So I've done those in some black cardstock, just adding a little bit of glue to those little feet there, and then I can just pick up my wheels, easy peasy. And then there is another piece that cuts out the two handle accents. So I'll just dot those handles with some glue and then bring in my wax pickup tool in order to place those pieces right over the handles. You could do whatever color you want here. I stuck with black because we have kind of a bright background going on, but you're going to see I'm also going to add an accent piece behind this suitcase just to bring in some more pink. This is a very pink card, people. We're going with pink today. All right, so we've got those parts of our suitcase put together. Now you can see I've laid out a bunch of stuff in there. The nice things about these dies is that several of them will cut out more than one piece at once. So some of these pieces of luggage here, some of the clothing that's in there, you can see like a die will cut out those little circle pieces that are towards the bottom left that look kind of like rolled up maybe socks or anything like that. You can cut them out multiple times. So I cut out 3 in white, 3 in a darker pink, and 3 in a peach. And then these little pieces here, the die cuts out 2 at a time. So I cut those out of a couple of different pieces of aqua colored cardstock. So all I did was go through and glue all those pieces down on that main layer. And now I'm going to bring in those pieces that come over the top of the clothing. So here you've got the little kind of elastic bands that you would find with a suitcase. I love how Honeybee is so good about all these tiny little details that could easily be overlooked when you are creating a die like this, but they have all of the tiny details. You can use as many or as few as you want, but I've just added glue along the back of those straps and put it over the right hand side. Now you can see here, this is the little netting piece. I'm only going to add glue around the edges of this. There's no reason to add glue to the center, and it's going to go right over the bottom left hand corner. Now you do want to put these two pieces down first before you put your trim piece that's going to go all the way around the suitcase, because it's going to cover up the edges of these two pieces and make it look more seamless, more put together, rather than having those pieces kind of stick out over the top of this outline piece. So I'm going to add glue all the way around this. As you're layering up these pieces, it can get a little hard to make sure that the glue is touching everywhere. So it can be helpful to bring in something heavy like an acrylic block, which is what I'm going to do here. Once I have this glued down, I'm going to put an acrylic block right over the top, and then I will let that sit for a little while just so that the glue can start to dry, so I don't run into any issues with those edges lifting up as I am putting together my sweet little card. So there's that cute suitcase. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's so cute. All right, so I have glued together two kind of little groupings here. On the left hand side, I've got a swimsuit with a map and sunglasses and passport. This person is all ready to go on their fun trip somewhere warm, obviously, as they have shorts packed and a swimsuit. Now, in the set, I did not use them, but there are some shoes that look like men's shoes and a couple of other little items. So you could definitely pack this suitcase for either gender. So keep that in mind. That's a nice touch. This is definitely a gender neutral set. You could use it for anyone to give this to. So I've added some foam squares to the back there. I'm going to pop that up on there. I'm not sure if this person's in the middle of packing or if they have already gotten to their destination and they've already started pulling some stuff out. But you can see on the left there, I've got the top and the shorts, and I added that cute camera as well as a little airplane ticket on the top there. Now you can see that little pink detail I was talking about. So I went ahead and cut out the main suitcase piece also in some pink cardstock. And this is a little trick you can do to add a shadow layer if you're wanting to just make something kind of pop a little more or add a little bit more color. You take your piece, you cut it in half, and then you can make it peek out from the top and the bottom. You see there how it's got a little edge of pink at the top of everything. All you have to do is put some glue on the back here. So I'm going to start with the top half and add some glue all the way along there. And then I can place that pink cardstock on there and hold it down. And then I'm going to repeat that whole process and offset it just slightly on the bottom piece as well. So here we go. We're offsetting this. You don't need much peeking out, just a tiny little bit, I think is really all you need. But I feel like it adds something to the card. I don't know. It's also making our suitcase a little bit stronger because we're adding that extra layer of cardstock and making it feel more solid. So it's less likely to kind of get messed up on the front of the card or anything like that. But there you can see that little pink detail peeking out around the edges. I think it looks really nice, but again, obviously not necessary. So I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of this, but I'm not going to put it down yet because I want to stamp out our sentiment. I'm using the Plain Awesome stamps and dies here. There's lots of cute little sentiments. This one says, wishing you an adventurous birthday. That's the one I'm going to use. But there's congratulatory sentiments, things like grab your passport, oh, the places you'll go, which would be great for a graduation card, things about beautiful journeys, so many different cute little sentiments that you can use for any occasion, really. Okay, I stamped that out and die cut it off camera, added a couple of extra layers of the die cut just so I could get a little bit of dimension. And now I'm going to glue it here to the kind of bottom right hand portion of my card front that we used our stencil on earlier. Once I'm happy with that placement, I'll go ahead and put it down. My suitcase was not down. I was just using it for placement of the sentiment. So now I can bring it in and add it towards the center of the card. It's looking super cute. I am going to add a few more little fine details here though. I'm going to bring in something that is tricky to work with, but I love. I'm bringing in some glossy accents, and I'm going to fill in the center circle there of the camera to give it a little bit of gloss and shine once it dries. And then I'm also going to bring this around on the sunglasses. So I'll start from the outer part of each of the lenses and then work my way in towards the center, filling in that whole portion. If you do get any glossy accents where you don't want them, you can always bring in some kind of pokey tool and just scrape it away a little bit. I'm also going to add some white gel pen details here and there where there are embossed spots on the clothing and the different items. So I did the shorts, I think I did the top, the swimsuit, as well as the passport. But that is going to finish off our card. I love, love, love how super cute this card looks. I hope you guys picked up some tips and tricks today. Please be sure to like and subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell so that you'll know about future videos here on the Honeybee Stamps YouTube channel. I hope you all have a wonderful day.